Court-appointed Special Advocates for Children, also known as CASA, is recognizing Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month with a fun night of conversation, advocacy, and more. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm News 8 digital anchor Luke Laster here from the Wood TV Live Desk. Joining me on this Tuesday afternoon, Patty Sabin. Patty is the Michigan CASA President and CEO. Patty, good afternoon. Thanks for taking some time.
Good afternoon, Luke. Thank you for having us.
Before we dive in here a little bit, a week from today, April 26th, we will have that fundraiser that we'll chat about here. But tell me about CASA a little bit itself, your role, and just what it is overall.
CASA stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocate, and what we do is advocate for children who are in the foster care system because of abuse or neglect. We use caring, committed community volunteers. We are actually the state organization, so we are charged with supporting 25 local programs in 28 counties in the state. We're also charged with opening new programs. So we do have a program right here in Kent County, CASA of Kent County, and they are our largest program in the state. So, and our offices happen to be, Michigan CASA's offices happen to be in Grand Rapids as well.
So we are a week out here from this fundraiser, this event. Tell me about that now.
The event itself is going to be an evening dinner. We have Judge Sarah Smolensky emceeing, which is always very entertaining. We also are presenting our very first Advocate of the Year award, and that is going to go to former Senator Peter McGregor. Mr. McGregor has been instrumental in supporting us in receiving state funding, state appropriations, and he's very supportive of all child welfare issues in the state of Michigan. We also will have a guest speaker, our keynote speaker, that would be Ms. Monica Smith, and she will talk about the difference between being a foster parent and a CASA volunteer, which she has been both.
So this is the first event since the pandemic, correct?
It is, yeah. It's been a long 2 years.
Yes, it has. Tell me a little bit about the excitement surrounding that and just being able to gather.
Well, and that's the thing, Luke, is being able to gather. This is our first event, public event, all gathering together. And there's something to be said for that face-to-face interaction, being able to share the mission face-to-face. You lose something when you're doing virtual. And just to be able to talk and really get to know the players in the mission and what their story is just going to be very beneficial.
To you, why is hosting something like this important?
Because it's very important to get the word out. We need the community to know that we've got over 10,000 children in the foster care system in the state of Michigan. And it's not just inner city Detroit, it's in Grand Rapids, it's in Kent County, it's in Montcalm County. And people need to know that there's hurting children out there. They're in the system through no fault of their own. And unless we don't get the word out there and let the communities know that these children need our help, we'll be nowhere.
What are you hoping comes from the event after that fundraiser, after it wraps up? What are you hoping comes from it?
Well, again, education. That is first and foremost. Donations, very important. We have over 50 counties in the state that are not served by a CASA program. So funding is going to go to open brand new programs. So that's the two main things, education and funding.
Shortly after this conversation, I'll have the opportunity to speak with a volunteer for CASA. Tell me a little bit about volunteers and having them and how crucial they are to this kind of program.
Our volunteers are the heart and soul of our organization. Without them, we could not serve our children and families. I liken the role of a CASA volunteer to that of a Navy SEAL of volunteering. It is not for the faint of heart. They go through 30 hours of extensive training. They go through courtroom observations. They then get sworn in by a judge, and they're assigned one case at a time. They get to know every individual in this case, anybody that has to do with this child, the teachers, bus drivers, therapists, doctors, caseworkers, grandmas, grandpas, anybody that has anything to do with this child, and then they make recommendations to the court based on this fact-based investigation. Our judges say they read our court reports first because we tend to bottom line it. This is what's going on with the children. This is what's going on with the families. This is what they both need. Our ultimate goal is always reunification. That's part of our core model. Studies have shown that children do best in their home of origin. Again, that's our core model. That doesn't always happen, unfortunately, but we have to make sure that the parents are given the services that they need and the tools they need to be able to parent these children in a very safe manner. And then the children, they need the tools as well. One of the greatest things about this CASA role is developing that relationship with a child. One of the things about being a CASA volunteer, you need to commit to the case until this child has achieved permanency. So either reunified with mom and dad or adopted. If you cannot do that, we cannot have you in the program because these children face too many losses to begin with. A lot of times our foster care caseworkers, the turnover is high. We had one little guy, he was 7 years old and he had 4 caseworkers in 14 months. So there's just no continuity for these children, continuity of services, educational opportunities. So that CASA volunteer provides that one person who's gonna walk the journey with that child.
How does, a couple questions on registration, how does one get involved, I should say?
Well, go to the MichiganCasa.org website, and there's a map there, and you can determine where your closest program is.
Gotcha.
And then you connect with the program. I know in Kent County they are starting a new training program in May. So go to their website, which is CASAKentco.org, and you can get signed up for an informational meeting, and they'll give you all the information you need. You need to go through your pre-interview. There's also an interview, all kinds of background checks, of course, and then the 30 hours of very intense training.
And bringing it back to the event itself, do you have to register for that
yes,
as well?
Yes, you do. And you can get to our website, which is MichiganCasa.org, and all the registration is there. Information is there. Or you can just donate. If you're not able to join us, think about just donating. We'd love to have you, though.
If you could, registration, could you share times and date again, just for viewers who may have been flowing in here throughout the chat?
Okay, yeah. The date is next Tuesday, which is, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to look here, April 26th. Cocktails are 5:30 to 6:30, and the program starts 6:30 till 8. So, and we are going to have a couple of really great auction items. I think we've got a huge Yeti cooler that will be there, and I think there's a Kate Spade purse. This is the theme is blue, stronger with blue, because blue is the color of child abuse, neglect, or child abuse and prevention month, and that is this month, April.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Not really, other than the fact that we've got thousands of children that need a voice in court. Without our CASA volunteers, these children will fall through the cracks. We've seen it. We also know that the CASA model works. I've seen hundreds of miracles. And without this support, a lot of times our children will not make it. It's an incredibly important mission. It's an imperative part of any community. When you've got strong children, you've got strong communities. So give us a call.
Patty Sabin, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Folks, if you may have tuned in again like halfway through the stream or just now clicking in, there's a link attached to it. It'll take you over to woodtv.com. You're able to view our full conversation from beginning to end there. This has been a look at the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm News 8 digital anchor Luke Laster. Have a great afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you around.